Hey YouTube, Sequin Shinobi here with a review of the Power Rangers Megaforce Battle Sets, for lack of a better term. The two sets of weapons that were released in the Megaforce line, $24.99 at Walmart. I think they're $29.99 at Toys R Us. No idea about Target because they haven't been spotted there yet. But one set consists of the Snake Axe, Tiger Claw, and Shark Bowgun battle set with 3 power cards. And the other one is the Dragon Sword and Phoenix Shot battle set with 2 power cards, one of which has sounds, one of which has missiles. On the back here, you do get our first glance of the Gosei Morpher that still isn't out. It apparently says Megaforce Red, Go-Go Megaforce, Summon Megazord, who knows what else. So you've got all these older warriors down here for the reds that all look like they have the same exact barcode. Actually, all of these cards have the same barcode, so let's not even pay attention to that. 180 phrases, but we'll get to that when we actually have the Gosei Morpher. You can see here that they combine to form the Sky Buster, the Lancy Buster, or the Gosei Buster. Unfortunately, I will be using the Goseiger terms throughout the entirety of this review because the American weapons, or not the weapons, but the American combinations don't have names yet because the show hasn't even aired. It's December. Show doesn't start until February. But I digress, just because I know there's going to be people going, well, it's called this and the show, and not realize that this was filmed in December of 2012 and the show isn't out yet. But anyway. So, this is one set. This is another set. As you can see, they are not that big. I can fit all 5 weapons within the realms of my camera frame, which means these are tiny. And when you have the Spin Sword or the Mega Blade, and then you get these, it is kind of a letdown, and I feel like they could have been a little bit bigger for their price, or at least a little bit more detailed. The Japanese releases weren't that much bigger than these. I currently don't have them in hand to compare. I am receiving this set from CS Toys, and I did purchase this set from Mandarake in the Japanese versions, so I will be able to compare them for my page, but in terms of the review, I can't really compare them right now. But the Japanese releases are a little bit bigger and a little bit more painted. Granted, they were quite a bit more expensive than these at original retail, but it's still kind of a letdown just kind of how small these are. Here's the Phoenix Shot, and it's pathetic. Missing a little bit of pink. Got this little tumor sticking out here. There's no trigger, there's no noises or lights or anything. It's just a solid piece of white plastic that can barely hold my tiny little hands. The Dragon Sword is substantially bigger. Reminds me a bit of the Spin Sword in terms of handle, but obviously the Spin Sword was much longer. This is a pretty thick plastic, actually. The card can slide right in here. We'll demonstrate that in a little bit. There's an on and off switch for sounds. So you get that absolutely atrocious noise. Like I said, the cards do fit in right here. So you get that. And it doesn't matter what card you put in there whatsoever. And then these two do combine to make the Sky Buster. Like I said, no idea what the American name is going to be. But that just slides right in there, locks into place. No new sound for connecting. And no new sounds whatsoever for anything. And again, same sounds for that as well. So we'll set the Sky Buster aside since that's still dinky and small, and take a look at more dinky and small things. The Shark Bowgun is probably my favorite of the weapons, just because it's a gun that feels okay in the hand. Trigger could be, or not the trigger, but the handle could be a little bit bigger. It does have a firing missile. That's kind of neat. It does come with a extra missile in case you lose it, like I almost just did. But I think I lost the extra missile on the couch somewhere. But that is cool. Like I said before, this isn't the right card, but the cards do slot in. This one does not make any noise at all whatsoever. But the gun firing gimmick is nice. Like I said, it does feel alright in the hand. Granted, this is way smaller than the prop in the show. He's actually got quite a large bowgun in the show. But, yeah, that's probably my favorite of the bunch. Here's the snake axe, which is more like a snake hatchet in the toys. But it's not bad looking. It's just very, very small. Kind of loose in the blade up here. So that's kind of disappointing. I didn't show it with the Phoenix shot. I'll show it in a little bit. But cards do fit in there. But as you can see, the cards are way bigger than the actual weapons. And so this looks absolutely ridiculous. But that's fine. What are you going to do? And the Tiger Claw, I think this is the one for... I think it goes on this hand. So you got a stabby claw of death. That's all this does. Again, yellow piece of plastic. And the cards can slot in right there. Except, again, it's huge and the weapon is very small. So, have at thee. These can combine to form the Gosei Buster. Again, no idea what the Japanese term, or what the American term is going to be. Or the English term, or whatever. But these can combine. Take the axe, plug it in like this. The blade portion will just kind of go in there. Lock in place. And then lastly, the claw. You'll see the ports right there. Bam, fit together. I feel like this should be a little bit closer. But it's pretty accurate to what it's supposed to be. And so now you have a gun with some fins on it. It doesn't add anything whatsoever to the combination. Just looks kind of neat. So, there's that. Then finally, your two sets of toys, this one and this one, both $24.99 each, can combine to make a Gosei Buster, which might actually be the actual name. Mega Buster would probably work too, even though that's Mega Man's thing. But anyway, slide the sword right through the handle here, and then connect. You will get a cool new sound. Woo, sounds. And of course, you get some new sounds with the trigger down here now that the full Mega Blaster, Mega Buster, Gosei Buster, whatever, Gosei Blaster, even though that's the name of the normal gun, is all set. So you get a final attack noise. And it can still fire the missile. So that's always cool. So you get noises and missiles. Always a fun time. And all of the cards can fit in their appropriate places. So you can fit the red one right here. Pink goes right here. Pink looks the worst. Pink's is just so small. And the card is so big that the pink card in there just looks absolutely horrible. Black gets slotted in right up there. Yellow gets slotted in down here. And then lastly, blue gets slotted in up here. So yeah, here's all the cards attached to make the dynamic and stuff. These do just say Color Megaforce Ranger instead of Megaforce Color, like a lot of the other cards. So I'm not sure what they changed there, but they do say different things now. So you got the dynamic here, just some Ranger names, no attacks or anything like that on the cards, just the flat-out Ranger names. It does feel nice in the hand. I can't really complain too much about that. I wish there was an easier way of holding this. It's not really meant to be held by one person, so it's kind of unknown where you're actually supposed to hold this. Just kind of watch the show and figure out what they do. But you can still fire, you can still play the sounds. So that's always cool. So it does feel substantially decent in the hand, so I can't really complain too much there. But when you consider the fact that this is 5 individual toys now combined into one, it kind of ruins the effect that this is any good. When you're like, oh, okay, this doesn't actually feel too bad in my hand. It's actually a substantial size. It has substantial weight. It's decent. But then you realize it's 5 individual toys, 2 individual sets, to make one weapon that's slightly decent is a little bit off-putting. Overall, I enjoy the Bullzooka and the Mega Blade a lot more than than these sets. At $24.99, it's just really hard to recommend these just because they are so small and they don't have that much playability. Things like the Mega Blade had a lot of sounds. It was huge. So for $24.99, I could recommend the Mega Blade no problem. But when you take a look at these two sets at $24.99 a piece, what you get just isn't as good as the other kind of toys that were released at that price point. So it's just kind of a crapshoot in the fact that they just aren't really all that great. However, you do get 5 power cards total, so 5 cards for $50 really isn't that good. But so if you are buying just for the cards, I would hold out and try to get a sale or something, or see whether these will be available in the booster packs. But if you do like the weapons, then I guess for the price it isn't that bad. But just going off of the other things we've gotten at the same price point, it's just really hard to appreciate these toys as a whole. When things like the Bullzooka and the Mega Blade were so good in the end. So yeah, I don't hate them, but I just wish they were kind of on par more with the Japanese releases given the price of these. There's really no excuse for some of the paint apps that are missing, particularly on the Phoenix shot and stuff. So that's always a little bit of a bummer, but hey, you've got cards and weapons. At least all of the Rangers will have their individual weapons in toy form. Can't say the same thing about most of the Samurai ones. But, yeah, it's kind of a hit-or-miss sort of recommendation, so it's really up to you. You can check out ShugenShinobi.com for latest updates on my reviews and hauls, and of course check out the Goseiger vs. Megaforce toy comparison page. And last but not least, check out Riders, Rangers, and Rambles.com, the podcast bringing you the latest tokusatsu news in the craziest way possible. So take care and have a great one.